Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EJG3 show. This is your host, Eddie Geller. Week 8 is in the books. Um, a lot of blowout games. There was some good play, and then there was a lot of bad play. But let's dive into it. Let's start off with Kirk Cousins. The Atlanta Falcons get rolled, uh, 34 to 10, by the Dolphins. Let me start off with the Dolphins, and then I'll get to Atlanta. I mean, I know Atlanta had a lot of guys out, but credit the Dolphins. Absolutely getting embarrassed uh, by the Browns. They come in. Maybe Mike McDaniel gets fired if they lost to Atlanta, but absolutely uh, destroyed the Falcons. Tua had a great day. Completed 20 out of 26 passes, 205 yards. Uh, Waddle scored. Devon scored. Malik and Ollie Gordon scored. Um, Look, I mean, there was a lot of drama, with Tua and Mike McDaniel. Uh, Tua was a bad leader, you know, saying that everyone needs to step up and etc. And Mike McDaniel, um, looked, he called out Tua saying, hopefully he doesn't throw 10 interceptions. Uh, I thought he bounced back in a big way. Uh, Atlanta, I thought, they had a good defense. Uh, which they do. They had a lot of guys injured, but really no pressure. You know, when Tua's pressured, he's not good, but he had protection. He didn't turn the ball over, which I like to see. Um, but I mean, obviously they have the Ravens coming up, but you know, Dolphins they looked okay. And obviously when you have drama, you have to find ways to win, and they did. But my big issue was uh the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, I thought the Falcons were going to roll the. I, I thought they were going to roll Miami. I mean, even though Kirk Cousins hasn't played in a while, I thought still Atlanta had the better team. Atlanta's been up and down this season. They got the high win versus Buffalo. They got the low losses to Miami and Carolina. To me they're just not consistent, and you know. But when you lose to the Dolphins when they're at their lowest peak, I mean that is not good. Um, but I mean I get it. Penix, uh, no Drake London, but scoring 10 points and I think you scored your first touchdown with like 5 minutes remaining. Uh, Look, I'm fine with Falcons drafting Penix. I think he'll be an average player, average quarterback. But the real story is how bad Kirk Cousins is. And Kirk Cousins, you know, he got benched last year towards the end of the season. You're making $45 million. And, you know, you couldn't move the ball at all. I mean, you have a good roster. I think I like the Falcons roster, but I've always felt like Kirk Cousins was a good player that got paid a lot of money. And when you get paid a lot of money, you're a little overrated. And look, I'm fine with players getting their money. But I always thought Kirk Cousins' career was overrated. You know, he didn't really make it to the playoffs with Commanders. I know. Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, that regime, the old regime, was terrible. Um, but you had when it came to the Vikings, I thought the Vikings had a stable organization. Had that one great year, but then lost to Daniel Jones and that Giants team. Um, and I saw his performance was really, really bad. At a time after the season for Kirk Cousins to retire. I think it is. I mean that play that he just showed, that's not. I mean, what team is going to trade for you? Because that was awful. I mean, the Dolphins defense is not that good, and you only score about 10 points, bro. That is awful. But do I believe in the Falcons? I mean, I mean, it's a little hard. You got Patriots, you got the Colts coming up. You know, you got Seattle, you got the Bucks still. I mean, this was their year to get to the playoffs. I mean, I know there's plenty of ball left, but losing to Mac Jones and that banged up San Fran, losing to Miami, losing to Carolina. I mean, these are bad losses. You got your Super Bowl and beating the Bills, but little bit of a roller coaster. I need this team to be consistent, and uh, they weren't consistent. They haven't been consistent all year. All right, let's go to another player that struggled, you know, and that is the Bears. Um, they lost to the Ravens, 30-16. Uh, First off, give the Ravens a lot of credit. They snapped a 4 game skid, and if you're a Ravens, hey, you're in this, baby. You're in this. I mean, look, the Steelers lost, the Bengals lost, and obviously Cleveland lost. That was a big time win by the Ravens. And I mean, look, I mean, I've said it before. I said it to a buddy. Do you believe in the Steelers? No. Do you believe in uh the Bengals? No. Bengals have a bad defense. I mean, they gave up 39 points to the Jets. I mean, their defense is just atrocious. Um, and then the Browns were just tanking. And if you look at the Ravens' schedule, I see a lot of W's. I mean, I think their hardest game will probably be Packers towards the end of the season. But that was a big time, and give credit to Tyler Huntley, which I don't know why he wasn't the backup to Lamar. I mean, I never thought Cooper Rush should have been the backup. I mean, Huntley had success uh, in the Ravens offense. I don't know why he didn't start or be the backup. It makes no sense. But it's a good one for the Ravens. I mean, Derrick Henry, he ran for 2 touchdowns. It was good to see him make some plays. I thought the Ravens defense, they're looking a lot better. They have 17 points to the Rams. 16 points to the Bears. I like to see. I like that the Ravens defense has improved these last 2 games, and I think it's because a lot of guys are getting healthy. They were very banged up. Um, so I'm glad to see that they bounce back in a big way. But the real story is the Bears. You know, Caleb Williams. Look, I get it. He didn't have a good day. You're allowed to have bad days. Um, but the last two games, zero passing touchdowns. Excuse me. That is atrocious. I mean, Ben Johnson. Seems like in the press conferences, he's frustrated with Caleb, and that interception. Caleb said that it was a good read. Ben Johnson said it wasn't. Well, if you throw an interception, that's not a good read, Caleb. I mean, that's a bad read. Uh, he's struggling. There's just, you know, Swift, I mean, it seems like it's a run first offense. I mean, Caleb Williams is just not there yet, it seems. I mean, look, he has talent. He can make good throws, but towards the end of the game, uh, that is, I mean, Tamor, I mean, he was wide open on fourth down. Uh, I believe it was like fourth and goal. I mean, an NFL quarterback needs to hit that. So he's struggling with accuracy. He only had the 52.9 QBR. Um, only 65% completion percentage. Um, Caleb is really good on scripted plays, but when you get to the fourth quarter, the money, the money quarter, he's just not an efficient quarterback. Uh, I think it's going to be interesting because they had. I mean, if you, it's okay to lose to the Ravens when you have Lamar Jackson playing, but it's not okay losing to the Ravens when the Ravens are on their third string quarterback. I mean, I would want my first string to beat their third string. And that defense did not play well. I mean, giving up about 30 points to Tyler Huntley. I mean, that's just atrocious, right there. But well, I believe in Caleb, but Caleb needs to be better. And I mean, look, if he doesn't get better, I really do believe that Ben Johnson will kick the can on Caleb. I really do. I mean, Ben Johnson relies his quarterback to be on time, and it seems like Caleb has not been on time. Uh, that from my point of view. Um, okay, let's go to the Sunday night game. Uh, Packers beat Pittsburgh 35-25. Tucker Kraft, tight end for the Packers, played really good, career high, 143 yards. Um, Christian Watson came back with four receptions, 85 yards. Look, I mean, yeah, the, the Packers have talent. I mean, we know that. I thought that was a good comeback win. They struggled in the first half, uh, but I like the fact that they bounced back in a big way. Um, on the Steelers side, a lot of field goals. It's funny. I believe the Steelers have like one of the highest paid defenses, and they can't. It seems like they can't make a stop. I mean, they gave up a lot of points to the Jets, a lot of points to the Bengals. I mean, you go look at their schedule. I mean, they got the Colts, Chargers, Bills, Ravens when Lamar's healthy, Lions. That is not an easy road. You know, you had to take advantage of these types of games, and that Bengals loss that was huge. That was a big loss. And look, I mean Aaron Rodgers. I mean he's playing fine, but you know a lot of field goals. I just think Steelers are going to struggle down the stretch, and which they've done for years now. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the division. I mean, I've already predicted that, but I mean, the Ravens are the best team in that division, and it's because Pittsburgh, not a great defense. Their their offense is mid at best. Um, you know, they don't go for it on fourth and down. They kicked a lot of field goals that day. Uh, which I'm not surprised. A defensive coach, he just wants to get points any any way possible. Which I want to get points, but I want touchdowns, not field goals, and that's kind of that's kind of their mo. Defense first, and you know it's just not a defensive game no more. I mean, yeah, defense is important, but you got to be able to score points, and the Steelers have not. I mean, I don't think I'm overreacting here. I don't. I mean, I think the Ravens win the division easily. I think the Steelers. I mean, Mike Tomlin. I mean, I've said this years ago. I'm gonna keep saying it. I feel like the Steelers organization needs to make a shift. I mean, seriously, you can't just be defense first all the time. You gotta be aggressive. But look, I mean, hey, you know what? Give Jordan Love credit. Look, I mean, I've I've kind of said internally that man, well, why are the Packers struggling on the road? Which they have. I mean, they struggled versus Arizona. They struggled in Pittsburgh. I mean, teams that they should really start out fast, but they just started very very slow. Um, I think Jordan Love is a good cute quarterback. I mean, I'm just glad that they're getting their weapons back. I mean, if their weapons stay healthy, man, this team can really score, which you can clearly see that they can. Uh, but no, I thought that was a big time win for the Packers. Obviously the lines have been rolling, so you just need to win these games to try to maybe win this division. Um, but yeah, no, gosh, I don't think the Steelers are good at all. All right. Look, obviously I'm a Bills fan. I'm glad that they won. Um, obviously, not great that we lost at Oliver. He might be ready for the playoffs. Hopefully we get him back. Um, but look, I'm glad that they run the ball. I think it's a run first team. I mean they can throw the football, but Sean McDermott says that uh, he's concerned and needs the passing game to improve, which I agree. I mean the wide receivers need to improve, specifically Keon Coleman. I know he caught three balls, but he needs to get there. If this team uh, has a chance uh, to get to get where they want to go. But yeah, look, facing Andy Dalton, you know that doesn't that doesn't improve. I mean, I didn't see anything that I'm like, oh wow, they fixed the run defense. Oh, because the run defense is not good, and I don't think that Carolina team with Andy Dalton is specifically good at all. Um, but this is the week. Obviously, they're facing the Chiefs. We'll talk about that later in the week. But yeah, no, that was a good bounce back win for the Bills. Um, and obviously, the Chiefs, um, they beat the Commanders. Great win. I mean, they started out slow, but they really um, turned it on uh, after the half. I mean, I believe the game ended 28-7. I mean, when Rasheed Rice is definitely making a difference um, uh, for the Chiefs offense, for sure. Um, but yeah, no, a lot of blowout games. Denver looked good versus the Cowboys. I mean, we know the Cowboys defense was or is absolutely atrocious. Um, but overall, I thought the teams that should have won bounced back in a big way. Um, that's my takeaway from the week. Uh, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.